The Baltimore that payment, and then we're gonna run with it, and we're gonna go hopefully be a dark horse to go win a Super Bowl. Another huge change for the Baltimore Ravens going into this offseason was their offensive coordinator, Greg Roman. Now, as every Raven fan should know, Greg Roman should not be hired anywhere. This man was play calling was so questionable at times. I don't know what made him think that James Porsche can throw a deep bomb versus Denver. I don't know what made him think that and cook up that play, because I'm telling you right now, it didn't work. It was a horrible play. Greg Roman's play calling was so questionable at times, and the Ravens finally let him go. They said, nope, we're not going to deal with this anymore. We don't think that you're going to fit this anymore. And they end up getting a nice replacement, which I think is going to be a nice replacement in Todd Monken is now the new offensive coordinator in Baltimore. In my opinion, I actually really like this hire. Todd Monken, of course, ran the offense in Georgia in college football. He won back-to-back national titles in Georgia too, so that just means his offense is high flying. I honestly liked what I saw from Georgia's offense. Is going to be great. In my opinion, this is definitely going to be an upgrade from Greg Roman's offense. Greg Roman's offense was kind of bland, and it just really wasn't working like I said earlier. But I think this upgrade with Todd Monken and what he had in Georgia is going to be a really boost to this offense. Now, another huge question with the Ravens going into the offseason was their wide receiver core. In my opinion, the Ravens had the worst wide receiver core in the league. It was horrible. After Rashard Bateman got placed on IR with that foot injury, it was pretty much bad. Our wide receiver one was Demarcus Robinson, and we had like James Porsche, and then we had Deshaun Jackson it was just they had an awful wide receiver core, and it really wasn't good. So what did we have to do this offseason? We got some upgrades. First off, we signed Odell Beckham Jr. in the offseason, which I know we kind of give him a lot of money, but if this does work out, it should go well, in my opinion, because it sounds like Lamar and Odell really wanted to play with each other. So if this works out, this is good. It also made Lamar happy, which I'm actually proud. If Odell can somehow come back from these 2 ACL tears, I really hope Odell can go out there, ball out still, even though he has torn his ACL twice now. I still hope he can go out there and ball out, because if he does, this offense is going to be even more dangerous. With that, though, the Ravens weren't done yet. They also wanted to still make some upgrades to this wide receiver core, and one of them being, in the first round of the NFL draft, they select Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is one of the most electric wide receivers I've ever seen going into a draft. This man literally has no ACLs. If you see him, he's just fast, and he's so shifty. He's kind of like Kadarius Toney in a way. He is so shifty, and apparently him in OTAs has been going really well. People are saying that he might be able to lead the Ravens in receiving yards. Zay Flowers is such a good wide receiver coming out and looking at his tape. I'm really excited to see what he can do in the NFL, and I definitely think he can be wide receiver 1 here in Baltimore. I definitely think this draft pick is definitely going to pay off. Also, like I said, we also still have your Rashard Bateman. He's probably going to be like our wide receiver 3 maybe. We also have him. We saw flashes of his greatness last year when that Jets game and other games last year. He can still be really good. It's just now he's kind of like in a little bit of a crowded wide receiver room, I would think. But I still think Bateman is still going to be a good wide receiver if we manage to maintain him. But that's enough about the offense. Let's get into the defense. This Ravens defense is actually pretty stacked. First off, the best player on the Ravens defense is Roquan Smith, no questions asked. Last year, Roquan Smith was 3rd in tackles, and I'm not going to lie, the Ravens did a wonderful trade to go get this man. They ended up trading this year's 2nd round pick for him for Chicago, just straight up, which I think it's an amazing trade that they made for a guy like Roquan. This man loves getting these tackles. In my opinion, I think he's the best linebacker in the NFL. Definitely worth that 2nd round pick that we used them for. Also, this defense also has some other bright players, such as Marlon Humphery, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in my opinion. Last year, Marlon Humphery had 1 forced fumble, 3 interceptions, and 53 solo tackles. He did kind of have a little bit of an off year, I would say. I feel like he could do a little bit better, but Marlon Humphery, he's CB1. This guy is really underrated. I see some rankings of cornerbacks and don't even see this guy in it, in my opinion. I'm like, this guy definitely needs to be in it. Marlon Humphery is an amazing cornerback, and he needs to be respected, in my opinion. Some other great pieces to the secondary is they have an amazing safety duo in Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams, in my opinion, one of the best safety duos in the league with those two. Their cornerback 2 position is kind of up in the air right now, but I think eventually by week 1 they're going to have that fully figured out who's their CB2 is going to be. Another huge question is what's going to happen with Patrick Queen this offseason. They declined his 5th-year option. It's going to be interesting to see if they're going to trade him. Are they going to kind of like bet on him, maybe franchise tag him next year if he does really well? In my opinion, Queen's an amazing linebacker too. I would love to keep him, but we already have Roquan as the highest paid linebacker in the NFL, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Patrick Queen. The Ravens also have a very interesting schedule, to say the least. Week 1, they kick off versus the Houston Texans, which I think is going to be a great starting up game for them. I think they'll probably most definitely win that game. Then they got to play Cincinnati week 2, which is going to be a fun matchup to watch. And then they kind of have an interesting schedule after that. They play Indy, and then have 2 divisional opponents with the Browns and Steelers, which them Steeler games, as a Raven fan, they're very fun watching the score be 10-13. And then they play Tennessee, which I guarantee you they'll win there. That Lions and Ravens game is probably going to be a super high scoring game. I can see it. Arizona, I can see us getting the win. During the Seahawks game, that's probably going to be a good game too. Probably a wild game. I think that'll probably be high scoring too. Cleveland games, they're Cleveland games. Cincinnati, once again, that's going to be a very interesting, fun game. And then we play the Chargers, which is also going to be a super high scoring game. Definitely these games where we play the Chargers, 49ers, or Dolphins, I definitely see us dropping a few of those games because I just how it is. I think we're going to end up losing like maybe like 4 games this season. I can see us losing in general because them Pittsburgh games we always drop. I feel like we always drop one of those, and we always drop a Cincinnati game every year. So that's my take on the Ravens schedule. I think it's going to be very interesting, but I definitely think this is a playoff team. I can also see them winning the AFC North. I think it's going to be very close between them and Cincinnati, though. Should be a very interesting team. But in my opinion, I think this Ravens team should be a dark horse to win the Super Bowl. I mean, they got a squad. Based off the stuff I just talked about, they got a squad, man. If Lamar's fully healthy throughout the whole year, Lamar might be able to put up another MVP campaign, and this Ravens team should be a good one. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed me breaking down this Ravens offseason and why I think they should be a dark horse to win the Super Bowl. Just click these videos right here. They're very interesting, very good videos that I've made. I'd appreciate it if you click them. Also, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day.